Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kate. This is Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper, and I have a whip and chat for you today. Yay! So my last whip and chat that I posted was just a tag, so we'll be doing a little more catching up during this whip and chat than we did last time. But either way, I'm so excited to be here with you and to get started on this section of Rose Library. So yes, I am working on Rose Library, which is a WIP I have had since April. And I only have like 10 or 12 sections left on it, so we're getting very close to done now, and I'm hoping I can finish it this month. I'm using a tray by Munimade and a pen by Butterfly Effectwares. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started, I think. How have you all been? I hope you have been having a great week. Oh yeah, I'm wearing nails, so I'm gonna have to use my tweezers to open these. It's been a long time since I had nails on, but I bought these nails last year for Halloween and never got to them because I bought a bunch of Halloween designs and ran out of, they lasted so long, these press-on nails, that I never got to these ones before the end of Halloween season last year, so I figured I'd wear them this year because we're coming up on that time, which is exciting. I love Halloween and this time of year. Today we actually went to a harvest party, family harvest party, because it's not quite Halloween, so they didn't call it a Halloween party. It was like a fall fest. And we had bread bowl soup and an apple salad and baked pears, which I've never had before, but they were really good with some ice cream and nuts. And it all felt very fall, so it was fun. Good to see family members who we don't get to see very often, too. So yeah, that was at my stepdaughter Raya's grandma's place. And so we've had Raya visiting here for the past few days, and that's been great because we haven't gotten to see her since August, I think. So it was really good to have her come and visit, even though it's a pretty short visit, but I'm not sure if we'll see her in November or not for Thanksgiving, but I'm hoping so. Her birthday is also in November, and it's a big milestone this year, but I don't think she's going to be able to come down here for her birthday because that's earlier in November. So part of the reason we had the party today was to celebrate her birthday. Although there was no cake and presents and stuff, it was just mostly a get-together. So yeah, when she got here, my husband and Raya decided to make some homemade cinnamon rolls, which I thought was interesting because I was watching a vlog from Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, Courtney, and she just made homemade cinnamon rolls too, and it's not something that we make often, so I just thought it was funny that they both happened so close together. But that was a treat because those were really tasty. I think the recipe my husband used is not his favorite, so I think next time he's going to try a different one. It was a little bready, but still, anytime you get the chance to have homemade cinnamon rolls is a good time. I've been struggling not to eat a lot of them because they're, very sugary and stuff, but they're very good, and they even made homemade cream cheese frosting, so that part is especially delicious. Incidentally, if you hear any talking other than me, I'm sorry about that. My nephew is visiting tonight too, and because he was at the party, and it seems like anytime Casey and my nephew see each other, they're like, hey, wait, can we have a sleepover? So he's here visiting, and they're playing upstairs, but they're not super quiet about it. which I don't mind, but people are sleeping in the house, so I might have to pause every once in a while here to go tell them to bring the noise level down a little bit, because Raya is sleeping in her bedroom they're right outside her bedroom in our upstairs loft. So, but she is pretty good at sleeping through stuff, so hopefully it doesn't bother her too much. So yeah, I finished Sweet Treats. I think that same night that I filmed my last Whip and Chat tag video. So it's been about a week now, and since then I did finish the Halloween Mini Dazzles set, and that was really fun. It only took me 2 nights. I did 3 each night. And then I started working on Rose Library again, because I'm hoping to finish it before the end of this month. And it's been really fun to work on this again, partially because it's good to work on a square kit again, as they're my favorite, and Sweet Treats was round, so it's nice to go back to a square kit. And this has a lot more confetti than Sweet Treats did, and that part is a struggle for me to get back into a little bit, because I have discovered that I do prefer color blocking mostly. I think I go through phases, like I have to be in the mood for confetti, but I can always do color blocking. So that's something I learned about myself. Good to know, good to know. I feel like a lot of the kits I like, though, tend to be more confetti heavy. So what are you gonna do? I guess just keep doing what you're doing, right? I choose diamond paintings based on how much I love the artwork, and not based on like the drill shape or how much confetti there is or anything like that. So I just get what I get and I don't throw a fit. However, I went through my gems flow tonight because there's a couple events starting in November that I really want to participate in and support. One is Night Court November, and that's being hosted by Dragonwing Diamonds and the Diamond Help Desk. And it's based on any diamond paintings based on books or novels. So I went through my gems flow to see if I had anything that would qualify for that. And I actually do, but I'm struggling a bit because the one I really want to do is huge and very confetti heavy, and I definitely won't finish it in the month of November, which is fine. I'd just be, for one thing, they don't require a finish for that event, but for another thing, I'm not entering for prizes or anything. I just want to participate in the event, so it doesn't matter if I finish it. But I also want to take part in jingle drills and start a Christmas kit on November 15th. And I still have stargazing as a WIP. So I'm a little bit worried about just having too many works in progress at once. Because that kit that I wanted to do for Night Court November will take me months. So the kit that I found that would really work well, I think, is The Secret Garden by Josephine Wall. And it's kind of... So The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett was one of my favorite books growing up. Still is one of my favorite books. And so I got that kit and I was very excited to see it because it's artwork of one of my favorite books. But it is max size and as with all Josephine walls, it has a lot of details and it's very confetti heavy. So I feel like I'm gonna have to be in the right frame of mind to work on it. And I don't know if I am currently in that frame of mind or not. It's kind of also a rainy day kit for me because that book is so special to me. And because Josephine Wall is no longer with Diamond Art Club, so it's kind of a special kit to have. So I don't know if I quite want to do it yet, especially when there are so many other events happening and I have so many WIPs going on right now. So I did come up with some alternative Night Court November pieces that would fit. I think in the launch video, Mackenzie over at Dragon Wing Diamonds said that Disney princesses count, and I don't have a princess kit, but I do have Beast from Beauty and the Beast by Mandy Manzano. And I've never done a Mandy Manzano kit before. And I think that one would be really fun because it's kind of like, it's one of her stained glass looking artworks. So there's a lot of kind of line blocking and then filling in the colors, kind of like a coloring book. And I feel like it's not as big as the Secret Garden one, and I feel like I'd get through that a lot faster, and it might not be so overwhelming and so full of confetti. So I'm kind of thinking I should go with that one, but then there's also, I think Spangler kits count, any like Randall Spangler dragon kits, and I have several of those too. So I'm not sure. I have more options than I thought because there were some I didn't think counted that do. But anyway, those have been noodling around in my brain as something that I could start. My other option is to just not participate in either, probably Night Court November, because what I would do is after I finish this, I would take a break from event canvases and just finish stargazing, and then on November 15th is when I could start my Christmas kit for Jingle Drills. So I haven't decided yet which way I should go with that. Like, there really isn't any harm to having a lot of WIPs going at once, and I often do that, but I also don't know like what I'm going to want to be working on over the next few months that I might need containers for, etc. So, are there any upcoming events that you guys are taking part in? I would love to hear what kits you have planned out to work on for those. For Jingle Drills, I think I am going to work on another rainy day kit of mine that I have been holding on to for a couple years now, and it's Cabin by the McNeil Studio. And it's so pretty. It's kind of a landscape, which I don't do many landscapes, but this one just hit all the right buttons for me. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I think it would be a really fun one to work on. But then again, at the same time, like, I know Diamond Art Club has stuff up its sleeve for like winter and Christmas themed drops, as they do every year. So I don't know when all that's happening, but I also want to keep things open to maybe work on something I might like from that drop, because there's always something I like. So yeah, I can't decide. Like, I'd love to, like with Drills and Chills, I have finished 2 full kits, and then this one sort of counts because it was a WIP. So it sort of counts as a third kit that I'm working on that's themed for Drills and Chills, because it's got witches and cats and all that stuff. So it'd be really cool if I could like work on a couple kits for drills and chills, like work on cabin, and then maybe one other that's, for instance, around, and that's not as confetti heavy as I'm sure the landscape cabin is going to be. So I do kind of want to keep things open, and if I work on Secret Garden, I won't be able to do that, I feel like, because I'd have just too many overwhelming projects that I'd be working on at once. So I don't know. There's just too many cool events going on. Speaking of cool events, I am still wanting to host a Disney DP along, and I think it's going to be in February maybe, because that's my birthday month, and I'm a huge Disney fan, so I'd love to celebrate Disney all throughout my birthday month. And I don't think there's too much else going on there that couldn't be like combined with a Disney DP along. So that's kind of why I was thinking February might work. And I'm considering just doing, I haven't ever hosted anything before. So I think for this first time hosting, I might just do, like, instead of a full-fledged event with like giveaways and stuff like that, I might just make it like a diamond paint along where we all just diamond paint together and work on a Disney kit. And there'll probably be a hashtag and stuff like that, but I think it might overwhelm me a bit to try and figure out all the prize stuff, and yeah. So that's where my head is currently at. And part of it is because I just don't have a lot of extra time in my schedule to organize all that. So I want to see how it goes first, just doing like a DP along, and see how I handle that before I jump into anything more advanced. Also, now my dog has come into the office and is snoring right next to me, so if you hear that, I also apologize for that. So what happened this week? Let's see. Casey had a choir concert, like the fall concert for the year. And so my dad and I attended that, and that was fun. Casey didn't really like one of his songs because it was in German, and he was annoyed that it was in a different language. But that's just choir, man. You gotta learn how to sing in lots of different languages for choir. And it was really short. It wasn't a very long song, so. And then he also sang a song called Yellow Bird, which was kind of it had like a Hawaiian vibe almost. That was fun. And then, of course, that was just his choir, and then we had to watch all the other choirs too, which I didn't mind because that was fun. I love, watching choirs perform. And this wasn't the end of the year concert, so they didn't pause the performances to do senior recognitions this time and stuff. That always annoys me a little bit. So this one was just a straightforward concert, and that was fine. And I've been kind of sick this week, so I was grateful that this one was a bit quicker. It was only about an hour-long concert because, ooh, wow, that color almost perfectly matches this tray. I guess this tray is pretty close to 605. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying I've had some days this week where I've had to pause my workday so that I could go take a nap because I was just not feeling well. And like my eyes hurt. It was really weird. I felt feverish, but I wasn't really running a fever. Like my joints were achy and I was all woozy and dizzy and stuff, but I wasn't really feverish. And my eyes hurt like that, so that was super weird. But usually if I was able to take a few hours and nap, I was okay to like come back and work more into the evening. So a couple of days out of the week I did have to do that. Just take a break, go take a nap, come back and work some more. And I felt up to going to the concert, so that was good because I didn't want to miss that. Speaking of concerts, my dad found out that next month, a band that we used to like back when they were popular in the 90s is touring and stopping at a casino that's pretty close to us. And so there's a hair that I'm trying to remove and it's driving me nuts. We kind of jumped at that opportunity because we haven't ever seen them in concert. I didn't even know they were still touring. And I really liked a lot of their songs back when their albums were first coming out and stuff. Still like them. So the band is Collective Soul. So if you've ever heard of them, I'm very excited to go see them in concert next month. And even more exciting is that I'm going with my dad, which is kind of a thing we've done my whole life, is go to concerts together. And those are some of my best memories with him, is just seeing different bands in concert. And also, my daughter Sam and her boyfriend wanted to come. Unfortunately, it's 18 plus only, I guess because it's at a casino. So Casey and Fletcher can't come because they're not quite there yet. But I am really excited to, like, Sam also loves going to concerts, and I feel like it's a generational thing. Like, my dad and I, our special thing was going to concerts, and then I went to concerts with my kids, and they all love going to concerts. Casey can take it or leave it, mostly because of the crowds and stuff, but he did really enjoy seeing Imagine Dragons in concert a couple years ago, and he's gone with me to Styx concerts at the fair and stuff. So I'm really excited to go to this concert with my kiddo and my dad. And I think it's been several years since my dad and I went to a concert together. And so I'm really looking forward to that. The first concert he took me to was when I was like 6 years old, I think. And we went to see John Denver. We were still living in California at the time. And John Denver was playing up at, I think, Big Bear Lake. And it was an outdoor concert that I still remember. And he was just so conversational with the audience, and we had such a great time. And I already was a fan of his at the time because my dad would play me like Grandma's Feather Bed. I loved that song. Rocky Mountain High, Take Me Home Country Roads. He's got a bunch of songs that I loved even at that age. So it was really exciting to see him play in person. So for a first concert experience, that was amazing. And I got to see him, I think, 1 or 2 more times in my life before he passed away. But my dad has just taken me to so many concerts over the years and introduced me to so many of my favorite musicians that's something special that we do together. So really looking forward to experiencing this concert with him and my daughter and Adrian, who is, for all intents and purposes, my son at this point. They've been together for, I think, 5 or 6 years, and they do plan to get married at some point. So yeah, just really going to enjoy that event with them. And I don't think Sam knows too many of Collective Soul's songs. I think I've talked about this before, but my kids and I have a game we play in the car whenever we're going on long road trips, which we used to do a lot more when the kids were growing up because Fletcher and Sam went to visit their dad every other weekend, and he lives about a 4-hour drive away. So we did a lot of long car trips, and so we had this game where it started off as a way for us to fairly decide who gets to pick the next song, because we all love listening to music, but we don't necessarily all love the same music. But we gamified it. So it's called Major Thirds because there's 3 of us, and that's a musical term, and we thought it was funny. And basically, there are different rounds, and the first round starts with a band, and whoever goes first just names a band and picks a song from that band, and we play that song, and then the next person in the car picks another song from that band, and then the third person picks another song from that band, and then it moves to the next person in the car to pick a band, and then we each play a song from that band, etc. So I am pretty sure there are a few times that I have played Collective Soul as the band during Major Thirds because every once in a while I'd remember that I really liked some of their songs. So we'd have a listen to a few of those. But I don't think I did it often enough that Sam is super familiar with a lot of their songs. So maybe she'll take some time to get more familiar with some of them before the concert, because we have like a little under a month before the concert. So there's time. So yeah, then Sam and Adrian, I think, are going to spend the night because I'm sure that'll go pretty late. And then they'll go home the next day, I think. Which is a bonus for me because that means I get to have a longer visit with them too, which I always love. And then the next day after that, it's funny, my friend Jessica and I have a tradition that for either her birthday or my birthday, like for both, we go together to that same casino and play the slots and just have a fun night out. And it just so happens that I think we had planned to do that already the very next day. So I'll be going to this casino 2 days in a row, which that's how it worked out. But speaking of kid visits, so it's going to be a great couple months because Raya is visiting this weekend, which has been really awesome to see her. And then next week, Fletcher's going to come visit during his days off. So that'll be awesome because I haven't seen him in a couple weeks since I went down to see the kitten. So we'll probably diamond paint together and watch shows together, and it'll be great. And then I'll be able to see Sam at towards the beginning of next month for the concert. So things are looking good. Halloween is coming up in there, but unfortunately, Casey's not super into it this year. So I don't think he's going to want to dress up or do any of that, but maybe I can get him to watch some Halloween movies with me when it's Halloween night and there's trick-or-treaters and we're handing out candy. But he doesn't like watching movies with other people, so I don't know if he will or not, even though it's kind of tradition. Actually, next week when Fletcher's going to be here is also during Casey's parent-teacher conferences, so hopefully there's a day we can go to those where it's not taking time away from Fletcher's visit, because we definitely need to go do that. Casey and I have been butting heads a little bit where school is concerned recently, because I'm trying to help him stay on top of his assignments and make sure he's getting everything done, and he's resisting my help and just wanting to kind of do it himself, but then he doesn't turn stuff in, and so he doesn't, get good grades in school. And I was like, we were really kind of arguing about it quite a bit, and it was frustrating because I'm trying to help, and he's just saying things like, school is for school and home is for home, and I don't want to do homework at school. I mean, at home, because it should just be at school. And I'm like, well, if you don't get it done at school, then you're going to have to do it at home. And I don't think he's used to that, because like in middle school, he was able to get everything done at school and not have to have homework. And he's just finding that a lot harder now that he's in high school. So I had been trying to help him make sure he had everything turned in before the end of the first 6-week grading period. And it just was an argument every night, and it was getting to be too much for me because, honestly, I know school is important, but to me, my relationship with my kids is more important to me. And I know that once he is through school and into the real world, no one's really going to care what kind of grades he got in school. So I sat him down one afternoon and was like, okay, you have 2 choices. You can either accept my help and not fight me about it, and I will be, prepared to help you make sure you don't fail your classes and help you keep up with all your assignments, or you can choose to handle everything yourself. And obviously, I'd be there to help if he asked. But I'm not going to be keeping an eagle eye on it and trying to step in and make sure he's doing everything. And just the natural consequence of that might end up being that you don't pass your classes and you'll have to retake them. And I don't know what that would mean for passing this grade, like if you'd have to retake 10th grade or what. And so I think he's still thinking about what he is going to decide to do. Because I can't make him learn something that he is just not wanting to learn. And both of us are, not neurotypical. And I definitely know that that's playing into this. And he's very much like his father, who would not even bother trying to learn anything at school if it wasn't something that interested him. So if it wasn't something he was interested in, he really couldn't care less about whether or not he passed that class. He did manage to graduate high school, though, so I'm hoping that same thing will happen with Casey. I'm just not used to it because my older 2 kids were very different in that they did care, about their grades and whether or not they were getting good ones. So, I don't know. I just feel like I can't force it. And if it's going to be something that helps him, it has to be something that he is willing to learn. So, and part of it is the fact that I agree with him that he's probably never going to use these things he's having to learn. I think the school system needs a major overhaul, personally. Like, I don't understand why we have, some classes are required and other ones are elective, and how they make the distinction between which ones should be required and which ones should be elective. To me, I feel like they should all just be elective, and you should be able to choose, at least at the high school level, which ones are most interesting to you for what you might want to do for your future, because that'll be, at that point, you should start working towards your goals of what you're going to want to be for, a career. And you should be able to talk to your counselor and work out which classes will best help you for that goal long term, for what you might be wanting to be. And then if you don't know what you want to be, that's at that point you could take a more broad range of classes that maybe cover a lot of different subjects so that you could maybe find something that you are interested in. But still, at that point, I don't see why they'd have to be required classes. You know what I mean? I think it should just be that you're required to go to school and finish a certain number of classes, but I don't know why, for instance, math is more important than art. Because out in the real world, how often do you use geometry in your daily life? Like, I can't even remember any of the geometry that I learned in school. I pretty much forgot it as soon as I was done taking that class and didn't have to know it for the class anymore. So, I don't know. It just would make more sense to me if school at that level, at the high school level, was more tailored towards what people are planning to do for their careers. But that's just me. And it doesn't matter because I can't affect that kind of change being just little me. But he knows I feel that way. And that has made it more difficult to not be hypocritical and tell him, hey, it's important that you learn this. Instead, I say, hey, school is required and these are the classes that are required. And if you don't pass them, then you'll have to take them again. And that would suck. Just pass them the first time so you don't have to take them again. So, anyway, we're working on that right now, and we'll see how it goes. It's just the first 6 weeks of school, so hopefully there's time to correct course if we need to before it gets much further along. But like I said, I'm not super worried about it. If he does end up having to repeat a grade, well, that's no skin off my nose. That's on him, It's more important to me that we're not fighting all the time, because that's just, not healthy for either one of us, and it's not a hill I want to die on, I guess. So that's that. What else? We did recently, my dad and I took Casey to the beach. Just spur of the moment, my dad was like, hey, what if we go over to the beach and go to Ripley's Believe It or Not? And there's a really cool buffet restaurant over there that is very much like Izzy's that we used to have here in town that went out of business. There aren't many buffet restaurants anywhere in town anymore. The only one we have here is like a China buffet, which is not very good. Like, the food isn't very good. And all the other buffets we used to have gone out of business since COVID. So we wanted to go over and have this buffet food at this buffet that was very similar to Izzy's. And we went to Ripley's Believe It or Not, and that was super fun. And we saw the sea lions. If you happen to watch my vlog this week, there was a lot of footage from that trip in the vlog. And it was just a really good time. The sea lions are so funny. They're just all laying out on this dock, basically like sleeping on top of each other, and yet barking very loudly the whole time. Super funny. I love them. There's an aquarium there in Newport too, but we didn't go to the aquarium because we just ran out of time. We didn't start heading over there till afternoon because I don't wake up that early. And so we had time to go to Ripley's Believe It or Not and then go eat. And then by the time we drove home, it was getting dark. So that was a really fun time and great memories with my dad and Casey. And it's just nice to do that kind of stuff spur of the moment sometimes. I feel very lucky to live where I live, which is, just a little over an hour away from the beach, and it's a little over an hour away from the big city. Like if we wanted to go to Portland, it's not that far. And we have like mountains and lakes about an hour away in another direction. So I really enjoy just living here in the Pacific Northwest, and specifically our city that's not too big, not too small, and just about an hour away from any kind of activity we want to do. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to update you on. So let's get into yay or nay for the week. All right, so for last week's yay or nay, I guess it wasn't last week, it was the week before because I didn't have a chance to get yay or nay prepared for last week. So we're a bit behind, but last time I asked, do you like to watch scary movies? And as for me, I have to be in the right mood, but sometimes I really do. I prefer the ones that are more cerebral, more supernatural, kind of make you think, or something weird is going on and you have to solve a mystery, over the ones that are just straight up gore and murder and stuff like that. I prefer the ones that are more involved, have more of a story to them. But some of those I really can get into. Like I think I mentioned that I just watched Crimson Peak, which I think it's categorized as gothic horror. So it fits into that horror genre. And I had no problem with that one. So yeah, I guess mostly it depends, but I'd say yay if I was picking one or the other. Just no Saw movies. I'm not really interested in that kind. As for you guys, the nays have it this time, and it was like a 9-6 ratio. So it was pretty split. And then there were some people who responded who didn't really fit into a clear yes or no. So I counted those as neutral votes. So not super many scary movie fans in my audience. I totally get it. Angel Rose said, I enjoy watching scary movies and find them amusing. Supernatural movies in particular intrigue me. Yes, I also like the supernatural ones where there's, ghosts or some other kind of weird thing going on that people have to figure out exactly what's happening. Those are my favorite kind. Leslie Diamond Paints said, yay, a good scary movie gets me in the Halloween mood. I like the kind of scary movies that are obviously fake or campy. Disney Halloween movies are great as well. I don't think I've watched a whole lot of Disney Halloween movies other than the old cartoons. I think I mentioned The Headless Horseman is one of those ones that I tend to watch every year, and that's a Disney cartoon, and it's a classic. I love that one. Fraggle Moz says, I don't tend to watch modern scary movies. I prefer the older ones. I find them much more atmospheric. Can only watch them in the daylight, though. That's totally fair. Gail McCormick says, I like monster/alien movies, and it's okay if they're a little scary, but I'm otherwise not really a scary movie person. Certain kinds of suspense don't play well with my anxiety. Yes, I also have anxiety, and there are certain kinds of content that I just cannot consume because it triggers my anxiety too much. So I fully understand that. And Jamie Easton says, "Yay, I love a good scary movie. My husband does not, so it is usually just me watching it." Yeah, my husband can't handle scary movies either. So I definitely don't watch them with him if I do watch them. So yeah, that was our last yay or nay question. As for this week, this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart, especially right now. So yay or nay, are you registered to vote if you have to register in your country? Yay or nay to that. And also, I will be posting a link in my description for if you're in the US, where you can go to check and make sure that you're registered to vote, because that time is coming and we should all be out there doing our civic duty and practicing our right to vote. So I will make sure that link is in the description. And other than that, guys, I think that's all I have for you. So thank you so much for joining me for this WIP and Chat. I appreciate you all being here and taking the time to hang out with me. Hope you enjoyed. And I will DAC you in the next video. Bye, everybody.